What's up, guys? We are live for AMA Wednesday. I'm excited to be here. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be answering any questions you guys have about entrepreneurship or Amazon or Jungle Scout or anything else I can help you with. Drop them in the chat box below, wherever you're tuning into. I have my computer here right here. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to answer as many questions as I can to help you guys with whatever I can. While we wait for a few of these questions to come in, I want to let you know about a few really cool things we're doing. First of all, Jungle Scout is launching a new series called Go Pitch Win. You can find out more at junglescout.com/podcast, but this is a Shark Tank style competition where you pitch your business idea to myself and a host of other judges. We choose one winner, and then we give the winner of each season, which is about 10 contestants, $10,000, totally free and clear for them to use on growing their business. So you can enter for Go Pitch Win at junglescout.com/podcast. If you're selected, then you'll be brought on and we'll record a session together. This is going to be a series that you guys can learn from, but also you guys can be in it yourselves. So junglescout.com/podcast, and that's when you can enter to be involved with this. All right, so we do have some good questions already. Peter Zimmerman said, with regards to my selling, I started selling last week and I'm struggling to get comfortable with how much I want to spend on PPC and to what price it at. Have been selling an average of 2 a day. I've learned that with regards to shipping, volume is a price killer. And just found out about monthly storage fees. All that said, I'm moving in the right direction, slower than I like, but the right direction. First of all, congratulations, Peter. You've only been on a week and you're already selling a couple units a day, so that's fantastic. In the early stages of launching a product, I'm typically very aggressive with my PPC spend. So this is going to be whatever you're comfortable with, because I don't know exactly what your pocketbook looks like. But for me, I usually budget, let's say $100 a day. That doesn't mean you're going to use all that, but that's what my budget is. But more importantly, probably I'm aggressive with my keyword bids, because I want to be in that number 1 or number 2 spot for those respective keywords, to make sure that when my listing is brand new and doesn't have any history, that I am getting impressions and getting people to purchase it. So I'd say when in doubt, in the early stages, it's good to be very aggressive and just know that, for the first month or 2, you likely won't make any money on this product, but what you are doing is you're creating a listing that has a bunch of reviews and sales history that's going to be organically ranked well. And as a result, you'll organically make lots of sales for months to come. So that's kind of my strategy with it. I have another one on Facebook. Hey, I have a question for Greg. I've got some items in Amazon UK FBA, and I'd like to get rid of them as soon as possible because they have low sales. What's the best way to liquidate unwanted inventory in the UK? I think you have a few options here. Option 1 would be you could just decrease the price really low to make this an amazing deal, right? That might that would probably improve your sales quite a bit. I'm sure at a low enough price, it would probably start to sell really well. Another option that a lot of people do, if they find that they have dud items that they're trying to get rid of, they'll put coupons up on JumpSend. So if you go to jumpsend.com, that's another one of our products, but it's a coupon marketplace where you can launch, or you can put your product up on here and you can give away as many coupons as you want. So if you're just trying to get rid of these things, you can just set it to give away unlimited coupons, at 50% off or whatever else. And JumpSend does support the UK now, and you'll find that you'll get a lot of requests for your coupons, especially if it's at a pretty big discount. Another one on Facebook from Zevi. Is it bad to have multiple private label brands under the same seller account? And if the brands are totally different types of product categories? No. You can have, just think about the people who do retail arbitrage, right? They have hundreds of different types of items of all kinds of just random stuff, pens and cups and whatever else, all under the same seller account. The truth of the matter is Amazon consumers never click on your seller account. They don't care about your seller account. All they care about is they find their product, they click add to cart, and that's it. So sell whatever random stuff you want all in the same seller account, and that's perfectly fine. Can I sell on Amazon while in Pakistan, as there is no PayPal? It has come to my attention in the past few months that there are a list of restricted countries. These countries aren't eligible to sell on Amazon. I don't know if Pakistan's on that list, but PayPal doesn't have anything to do with it. You don't need PayPal to sell on Amazon. All right, on YouTube, Tiara Jones. Hello, with private label, did you have to register multiple business names? Example, with the Jungle Sticks and Baby Towels, or did you just make up the name and added it to it? Okay, so I think you're kind of touching on a few different subjects here. Let me go over each of them just real quick. One thing with business name is like if you decide, which most of you will want to register a legal entity, so incorporate, then your probably it's going to be an LLC. Your LLC would have a name. You only need like one business entity to house unlimited number of products. So for one, we just have one LLC and that houses these private label products. What I think you might also be getting at with this question, though, is what do you do about brand registry? And with brand registry, you can only register one brand name, which is a separate item from your legal entity name. So yes, if I were to do this all over again, one of the things I would do differently is I would just come up with one brand name. It would just be like Jungle Creations. And that would be the brand name for all of my products. When we started with Jungle Sticks, the requirements for brand registry were different where you weren't required to have a trademark. So that's kind of why we went about it that way. All right, on YouTube, Texas Homegrown. Hey, what's up, Greg? Newbie here. Any tips? I'm in my second week of research and loving it. I can't wait to launch my first product. My tip for you would be to watch the $1 Million Case Study. All right, you can find it at junglescout.com/million. The $1 Million Case Study is a case study that we've done where we launched and scaled a physical products company. We've done over $500,000 in sales so far, and we're going to keep running it until we hit $1 million in sales. We have 3 products now. We have bamboo marshmallow sticks, we have hooded baby towels, and we have sleeping bags in the UK. And I would encourage you to watch this case study. The US edition and UK edition, they're kind of like 2 separate parts. They're each about 20 hours, so it does take some time, but you can watch in double speed. And I'm confident after watching that you would have all the information that you need to successfully launch your product. After doing that, at some point, my only other tip for you would be don't get into like analysis paralysis. At some point, you just have to make the jump and launch the product. So that's what I recommend. All right, another one on YouTube. Hey, Greg, I'm finding it difficult to get feedback, and my customers get an error saying that they need to validate customers. I'm not quite sure what that means, validate customers. I'm going to assume here when you say feedback that you're talking about product reviews and not seller feedback, because no one really cares about seller feedback, but product reviews are very good. I would encourage you to set up an email follow-up sequence. Again, you can do that at jumpsend.com. On JumpSend, it will automatically send a series of emails to anyone who purchases your product requesting that they leave a review, and this greatly increases the number of reviews that you get. So, that would be kind of a tip for you. All right, another one on YouTube. Farah has said, hey, Greg, what is your take on new trendy products which have high sales velocity but have not been on the market very long? This one's a little bit tricky. Personally, I try not to sell what I think are kind of like faddish type products. So I think like the classic example of this is fidget spinners, right? So like this past summer, fidget spinners were crazy. They were selling like crazy, but this was like a very faddish product, right? And that was pretty clear to me and probably clear to a lot of you other guys too. It's like, okay, like this isn't going to last forever, right? These little, like, it's kind of like a little dumb thing. So I try not to sell products like that because they typically have a short lifespan. So yeah, that's kind of my take on faddish products, which I kind of feel like trendy means the same thing. But if you believe this is like a new trend that's going to be around for decades, then go for it. Boris said, hey, Greg, instead of giving coupons, isn't it better to lower the price and boost PPC? The cost at the end is the same, so what is the better strategy? I typically do a combination of all of them. I do coupons, I do PPC, and I usually start out with a more competitive price. If you're getting enough sales just through the coupons or just through the lower price or whatever else, that's fine to do so, but I prefer to have a mixture myself. On YouTube, Coolness says, hey Greg, thank you for all your help. I've applied your system to the product that I've invented. I'm attending Shark Tank today in Vegas. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. Hopefully we'll see you on Shark Tank when it airs in a few months. And if you want to give me or Jungle Scout a shout out while you're on Shark Tank, that would be amazing too. But that's very cool. Cosmetic Affairs. I had my supplier print the FNSKU on the box, but also saw that they added a barcode sticker above it. Will Amazon dislike that the FNSKU is on there twice? If it's the FNSKU on there twice, it's probably okay. If the UPC and the FNSKU are both showing, so these are two different barcodes, then that's not good. And you need to cover up the UPC somehow. If it's just the FNSKU twice, that's not ideal, but I think it's probably going to be okay. On YouTube, hey Greg, do you make your suppliers sign a new purchase contract for each reorder? If you were being a stickler with your paperwork, then that'd be a good thing to do. Myself, I hate paperwork, try not to do too much of it, so I can't say that I've been good about that in the past, but if you were to ask a lawyer, that would be their recommendation for you. Insights to GS1 SKUs and Amazon's requiring them from now on. Amazon amended their terms of service like a year and a half ago, saying that all SKUs had to be GS1. A lot of people still don't use them. Some choose to do so. I'd say I think it's like $200 to get a GS1 SKU. If that doesn't seem like a lot of money to you or you're willing to do that, I'd say go for it. If not, from what I understand, or from as far as I know, the third-party resellers, those barcodes still those SKUs still seem to work as far as I know. So yeah, use your best judgment there. All right. On YouTube, Victor said, hey Greg, I signed up with JumpSend. Awesome. And I'm running a 70% discount to launch my new product. Does the discounted product disqualify that sale for an Amazon review? No. So you cannot exchange people like a coupon for review. But if you do a discount, whether that's a lightning deal or a coupon or any other type of discount you want to run, you can still ask those people to leave a review and they're still eligible to leave a review. Now, if it's a 70% discount, there's a good chance Amazon won't put the verified purchase badge next to it. But at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter that much. I don't think most shoppers actually look for that. So it does not disqualify that sale for a Amazon review. On YouTube, Alejandro, hey Greg, instead of doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, or private label, do you think that being an Amazon affiliate seller would be an option to make a good living? Potentially. There are a lot of Amazon affiliates that do very well. If I'm not mistaken, I think just a few months ago, Amazon adjusted their commission structure, and I think it's less now. So this may not be as lucrative as it was in the past. But if you're good at building websites and creating content and driving traffic to those websites, then you can make money as an Amazon affiliate. All right. On YouTube, Catamaran303 said, Greg, how are your SKUs doing sales-wise? Is the Jungle Slumber listed on UK Amazon? Overall, the SKUs are doing well. Let's see. We put up a post on the blog about this a few weeks ago, like the end of the year recap. But we did about $250,000 in sales or so for 2017. The Jungle Sticks were still the majority of that since they were on for the entire year, where the Hooded Baby Towels were only on for like half a year, and the Jungle Sticks are still are our best selling item. Yeah, so I mean, about $250,000, like $250,000 last year, at I think 22% margins or so. So what's that? About $55,000 in profit last year from just 2 products. And then the Jungle Slumber sleeping bags are, I think, supposed to arrive. Maybe they arrived last week. I don't know. Kim's been doing that. I haven't really been involved with it too much. But I think the Jungle Slumber sleeping bags arrived last week. On YouTube, Rolando say, can you talk about opportunity score? Many scores are low. Just wondering, should I solely go by this score? I wouldn't say to solely go by the opportunity score. The opportunity score is a good to use as like a rule of thumb or a guiding star. But it shouldn't be the only thing that you look at. With that being said, also I just want to let you know that I've only found a 10 out of 10 like one time in my whole life. 9 out of 10s are very rare. 7s and 8s are typically pretty good opportunities. So that will help you gauge the opportunity score, but there's more research you need to do than just the opportunity score. Anthony on YouTube said, can you talk me through the process from the time you receive the product from a supplier to sending it into Amazon? Sure. So I never personally receive any of these products. I get them manufactured in China. These products are then shipped. If they're small, they're shipped air. If they're large, they're shipped ocean. So let's just say they're shipped ocean. So they're put on a boat in a container. They get taken to Los Angeles in the US. They're taken out of the containers. They're put onto pallets, and those pallets are shipped into Amazon. So that's my process. If I'm shipping air, then it's typically air courier, so like DHL, TNT, UPS. These items are shipped door to door from the factory straight into Amazon. So I never touch any of my products. That would be a lot of work and something I'm not interested in. On Facebook, Sharon said, feeling very frustrated right now, Greg. My first private label product on Amazon just started at Jump Send promotion at 30% off. I've not gotten any sales in 3 days. Any recommendations to get this going? Yes, I have lots of recommendations. So, all right, so your product's only been on since Saturday, you said. So I guess that's 4 days now or whatever. When you launch a brand new product on Amazon, the product doesn't automatically get sales, okay? It doesn't like automatically show up at the first page and everyone just starts buying it. That happens, for a very rare amount of people, but in general, don't expect that to happen. You have to help get this started, okay? So right now it's lost like on page 1000. Let's just say you're selling these glass cups. Someone right now searches glass cups. Yours is on page like 100 pages of the results, and no one's gonna ever find it back there. In order to get it on that first page of results, you need sales history, and you need a good conversion rate for your listing. So conversion rate for your listing, you need to have good images, good text, good title, good bullets, good description, all that kind of stuff. But if no one ever even clicks on your listing, then all that stuff doesn't even matter. So you need sales, right? So there's 2 ways to get sales when you first launch a product. One is through Jump Send by giving away coupons. I would say that 30% off coupons probably aren't going to cut it. There's over 100,000 shoppers on Jump Send, but these people are bargain hunters, okay? This is stuff that they don't really need. They don't need more glasses in their home. But if they see a coupon for 70% off, then they usually just can't resist it, right? It's like too good of a deal that they really want it. So to start on Jump Send, I typically do like 75 or 80% off. So 30% off's typically not enough. And just know, again, I kind of talked about this earlier, but the first month or 2 of your product, you will lose money, okay? But this is like a time for marketing when you're launching this product and you're exchanging it for long-term success, right? So one's the coupons. The second way is to get sales through PPC. So this is a way that you can pay, to get your products up on that first page. So don't get discouraged, Sharon. You said here you're feeling very frustrated right now. It's only been 4 days, first of all. And second of all, this is part of the process, okay? You just need to do more generous with your coupons so you get more people to redeem these, and go ahead and set up if you do like an 80% off coupon, you don't even have to do PPC right now. But if you'd like to do both, you could go ahead and set up PPC right now with aggressive bids, and you will get sales through those two methods. After getting sales there, that's when Amazon starts ranking you better because you're making sales. Then eventually you end up on the first page for a bunch of your good keywords. And then that's how you'll organically make these sales over time and become profitable. On YouTube, hey Greg, did you get my job application and crazy YouTube video? I want to join the team. I don't know. We'll have to look. I don't know your real name. All I know is Hippomati. But that brings up a good point. We have about a dozen open positions right now at Jungle Scout. If you're interested in working for Jungle Scout, we are hiring some positions here in Austin, Texas. This is my office. This is our office right behind us. We also have an office in Vancouver, and we also have a bunch of people that work remotely at Jungle Scout. If you're interested, junglescout.com/jobs. Like I said, there's about 10 or 12 open positions right now that we're looking to fill within the next month or two. So make sure you go there, see if anything fits the level of experience and criteria that you have, and then I would encourage you to apply. All right. On YouTube, Master Rouse says, this should be the best advice in 2018 for people and businesses if they use this, maybe to hold their tax and VAT money before they pay the government with mad interest. I don't think there's a question there. All right. Black Knight Coding. Just bought the Jungle Scout subscription and Chrome extension. Going to be chronicling my experience with getting my first product researched, sourced, and listed. Awesome. We're looking forward to seeing that. On Facebook, Mustafa said, Greg, can you please clarify more about FOB versus EXW? FOB is free on board, or some people call it freight on board. EXW, that's XWorks. Essentially how it works is with FOB, in an FOB, these are Incoterms. In FOB Incoterms, that means that the price that they're giving you essentially will get the product onto the boat, okay? So I order 1,000 of these glasses. They quote me $1 FOB per glass. That means that the factory is going to make this, and then they're going to put it on a truck. They're going to drive it to the port, put it in the container or whatever, and then once it's like on the boat, then I'm responsible for the liability, so like insurance, or just overall liability if those products get damaged on the boat, and they're now my liability. And then I'm also now responsible for the price once it gets on the boat. At that point, responsible for the goods the rest of the way. With EXW, the factory, someone needs to pick up the goods from their factory, and as soon as those goods picked up, then they're then your responsibility, and then you're in charge for getting them to your house, okay? So those are the difference. If you're curious about knowing more, you can just Google like Incoterms. Just so you know, there's like 50 different types. I've only ever used these two, which is FOB and EXW, XWorks. So don't get overwhelmed with all those Incoterms that no one ever uses. On Facebook, Leon said, hey Greg, is it common for Amazon to remove reviews? I had one review of my product for a few weeks, but today they seem to have removed it. Sometimes they remove reviews. They have a pretty sophisticated algorithm to judge what types of reviews are like biased or maybe paid for or whatever else. And I guess if it fits into their algorithm that they think that it's a sketchy review, they will sometimes remove it, which it seems like they had done for you. All right. On YouTube, Mohammed said, hey, Greg, I'm just starting out the first inventory of 500 units. Can I send it directly from the supplier to the Amazon warehouse, or do I need to engage a freight forwarder? And how much does this cost to engage one? If you want to send this product with air shipping, you could send it with like DHL or UPS or FedEx or TNT directly from the warehouse to Amazon. That's usually pretty expensive unless the goods are very small and lightweight. So if it's larger and this is too expensive, then you're going to want to ship it ocean freight, at which point you need to hire a freight forwarder. If you want to hire a freight forwarder, you could check out like Freightos.com. That's like it's like the equivalent of like Kayak for travel. It's like Freightos for freight forwarding. So they give you a bunch of prices from a bunch of different freight forwarders. That's kind of cool. Flexport.com is the one that I use. A lot of people use one called like Shapiro. So you can check out all of those as far as finding a freight forwarder and getting a price quote from them. On YouTube, Tanya said, when will you be starting the next $1 million case study? Good question. We might be mixing it up a little bit this year. Stay tuned a little bit more for that. We'll still give progress updates on the 3 products that we have launched, and we're still going to continue to sell those till we hit the $1 million goal. Like I said earlier, we're only about $500,000 in revenue so far, so we're only about halfway to our $1 million goal, but more information coming later. Given the filter options viral launch offers, is Jungle Scout looking to refresh its own web app to offer some of those options as well? Good question. Jungle Scout is actually launching a revamped Jungle Scout web app at probably the end of February. So that's about like 6-7 weeks now. All of the improvements that we make are always based off of what our customers want. And I think this is a very important thing to note because this is how we've been able to stay like the leader in the industry, right? So, people say like, oh, sometimes, like this thing can like do that or whatever. We never develop any of our pieces of software based on what our competitors are doing, because when you're like the leader like we are, that would be like a way to like really slow down your progress, right? Instead, we do our best to always just be talking to the customers, finding out what the customers want the most. And that's how we gauge what to put in our individual apps. So like we figure out like what pain points do you have? What's hard about your business right now? And that's how we make all of our decisions about what features to add or this, that, and other thing. So I don't know exactly what the filter options the company you mentioned has. There's lots of other competitors that have little things that do whatever, but like in our experience and based off like what the customers we spoke to about, they don't necessarily want those things, or we have things that other people don't have and that kind of thing. So that kind of gives you a little bit of like insight and transparency into like how we think about always improving all of our products and how we go about the feature development roadmap. Luca, hey mate, glad I logged in. I love your t-shirt. Thank you. All right, we have time for about 2 or 3 more questions, and then we're hit the 30-minute mark, so we're gonna have to wrap it up. Real quick, I want to remind you guys one more time. I spoke about this at the beginning, but junglescout.com/podcast. You can find out about a new project that we're launching in 2018 called Go Pitch Win. It's a Shark Tank style podcast where people pitch their new business to myself and a panel of judges. One person selected at the end of each season who will be gifted $10,000 to invest in their business. So you can enter that at junglescout.com/podcast. We have time for 1 or 2 more questions. All right. Ramesh on Facebook said, in the process of sourcing an LED lighting product, should I be aware of any regulations by the Amazon US market for electrical products? The best person to ask about this is someone at like asiainspection.com or vtrust.com. I don't think the US requires any certificates. I don't think that it's required for electrical products to be like UL listed. It may be that, what's another one? EA something, I don't know. But if you ask one of these inspection companies, what's the requirement? So like, keep in mind when you ask them, they're going to try to give you like a list of recommended tests, but you don't need all those recommended tests. Just say like, what's required by US law or like importing requirements for me to have for this particular product. Ruth says, hey Greg, I'm loving Jungle Scout. For items such as kitchen utensils, do you have to get FDA tests done for each batch ordered, or is one test for the first order sufficient? Again, this would be a great question for like Asia Inspection or vTrust. Technically, I think you're supposed to do it for each batch, but I think most Amazon sellers just do it like one time. But again, I always recommend to go by the rules. And again, you could ask the inspection company a little bit more details about that. I've never heard you speak about VAT, or other taxes or fees when importing. Is this typically included in the freight forwarder quote? I talk about VAT a lot. It's one of my least favorite but most talked about subjects. Same with all taxes. VAT is not included in the freight forwarding quote. Go to Google, search VAT Jungle Scout, and we put together like a definitive guide to VAT. This is like an area that I think a lot of people don't understand when importing products to the EU. We interviewed like 4 or 5 different experts, and Kim, one of the Jungle Scout team members, put together this amazing guide on VAT. So just Google Jungle Scout VAT and you'll find it, and that's what I'd encourage you to check out. Last question of the day. I want to set up my search terms at a higher price per item and less sales per month. Do you think the model would work as well as the 300 sales per month at $20 per sale? I want to set up my search terms at a higher price per item, but less sales per month. Short answer, yes, this can work just as well as like the 300 sales per month at $20 a sale type model. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Thank you guys very much for joining. I'll be back next week for another AMA session. If you're on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're tuning in from, please give us a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you're there. I just mentioned this a minute ago, but our podcast, Go Pitch Win, is releasing soon. You can find out all the details and enter to win the $10,000 prize at junglescout.com/podcast. I'm also doing a giveaway where we're giving away some nomad gear. For those of you who are aspiring to be digital nomads, you can find out about it and enter to win at gregmercer.com/nomad. Thank you guys very much. I've really enjoyed it. I will see you next week. Bye.